Hello guys and dolls, welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a very fun look using the Vegas Lights palette from Makeup Geek. If you guys saw my review the other day, you know that I love this palette. I think it's so great for fall. The colors just scream and play with me. There's so many different options you can do. This is just one of the many different ways you can use this palette, and it's a good little palette. So if you haven't seen my review already, I'll have that linked in the description box down below for you. I also want to invite you to thumbs up and subscribe, as well as follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. This look was really fun. I would love to see you guys recreate this look either with the Makeup Geek products or with whatever you have. I would love to see your versions of it. So just hashtag Vintageortacky so I can see your looks on whatever social media you're using. And I guess that's it. Let's go ahead and get started. So I'm starting out today by using the Lorac Behind the Scenes primer all over the lid. Smooth that on out. So I'm going to pick up the Vegas Lights palette from Makeup Geek, and I'm going to go ahead and start with Roulette, and this is a MAC 239 brush. And I'm going to place this all over the lid, just in a general, you know, the half moon shape of the lower lid. All the way over. And I'm just going to start just short of the edge, the outer edge. Since I'm going to be putting a dark color there, there's no need to put this underneath. They don't need to, you know, it doesn't need the red underneath for the brown to go on. The next order of business is to pick up a combination of Sin City and Desert Sands. They're both incredible eyeshadows, particularly Desert Sands, but I want to lighten it up a little bit, so I'm mixing in a little bit of Sin City to give it a little bit more of like a lighter yellow look, whereas Desert Sands on its own is more, you know, it's still sort of like a, you know, tan yellow, but anyway, I'm rocking that in my crease line all the way across. Pick up a little bit more of Sin City, which is more of that like playful kind of color, whereas you see like this one's more like an ochre or you know, like a deepened 70s mustard yellow, whereas this one's more like a bright orange, you know, happy type shade. So the two together mix together and they have, you know, they make the perfect shade for this. Okay, so now for my outer corner, I'm going to pick up Bada Bing on a flat shader brush. This is from Wayne Goss, it's the number 18. And I'm going to place that in the outer corner, sort of stamp it on. And start to wiggle it in a little bit. And bring it into the crease a little. Just add that depth in. You can bring that brush that you were blending the other two crease shades with and just use that to blur Bada Bing into that. Pick up more as necessary. You see I'm just using kind of like a back and forth motion. These eyeshadows all, the colors go together really well, so they almost like want to blend together, so you really don't have to do a lot of, you know, extra work. Like sometimes when you use an eyeshadow with another, they don't quite go together or the textures are stubborn. With these I find that they just blend together perfectly. It's great. So adding a little bit more of Desert Sands. I've picked up another brush to do this with because the one that we blended the brown with got a little stained. And you guys have mentioned this before, and so I just kind of want to talk about it and address it. I do tend to use quite a lot of brushes when I'm doing a tutorial. Like, I'm not even done with the eyeshadow, I've already used 4 brushes. And the reason is because if I end up wanting to come back and blend something, like I want to brighten up the roulette, I can just come back and blend back with that same brush without having to pick up more product, because otherwise, you know, you keep picking up more product, you can get kind of like a textured look to the eyeshadow, or it just gets crumbly and it gets fallout, and it's just not a good situation. So I tend to use multiple brushes for that reason. And another thing is, you know, if you have a brush that you really love, it's great to have a few of them on hand. Like this is, one of these is a MAC 217 and one of them is a Sigma E25. They're basically the exact same brush, and I use them interchangeably, but they're the same shape and they serve the same function. So I like having multiples of them because you never know when you'll need another one of it. Alright, so my highlight today, I'm obviously going to use Mirage from this palette, and this is a MAC 252 brush. And I'm just going to really delicately place that underneath. You know, obviously you don't have to be like massively delicate with it, but I don't want to blend into the shadow too much. And then I'm going to take my brush that just has a little bit of the Sin City on it, just blend between the two. You have that perfect fade. So for my upper eyelid eyeliner today, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Ink for Eyes. This is one of the pen style liners, and don't do that. I'll clean that up better in a minute. Give yourself a line across the lash line. It doesn't have to be perfect at all. In fact, we're going to go over it with a pencil liner. You just want it as close to the lash line as possible. This is going to give you a color depth that you wouldn't get from just the eyeliner alone. The eyeliner I'm going to be using is also from Urban Decay. This is the Naked 3 pencil duo. I'm going to be using the Black Heart, I think it's called, yeah, Black Heart side. It's like a dark, plummy, maroony type shade with red glitter in it. It's a lot of fun and it goes great with looks like this. You can take your finger to blend it if you want to. I'm using a makeup wipe to remove any fallout, especially when you're using like red and orange toned eyeshadows. And again, especially if you're very fair skinned, it's so important that you not have fallout on the face because it can just make your skin look ruddy or tired, or it's just an unattractive look. So you want to get as much of the fallout off, and it's one of the reasons why I always do my eyeshadow first before I do the eye makeup, so that way I have an opportunity to fully remove any unwanted fallout. Okay, so up until this point we've had kind of a basic makeup look. I want to take it to the next level. I'm going to bump it up a little bit, but I wanted to show you, the lighter side, and then, obviously you can bump it up quite a bit. I'm going to start out by using a Kohl liner in my inner rim. This is the Rockin' Kohl from Charlotte Tilbury. Just line out my inner rims. I'm also going to put a little bit in my upper lash line, but just in the outer corners. I find that I usually don't actually need it in the center, and that way it doesn't get on my contacts as much. So for those of you who have problems with liner getting on your contacts, you might want to try that out. And I'm just going to dot it on the lash line a little bit as well. Then I'm going to take a Q-tip, just, standard everyday Q-tip, and smudge that out a little bit. Like a weird face. It's always, highly desirable. Now that I'm giving that a good little schmutz, I'm going to take Bada Bing on an angled eyeshadow brush, or an angled liner brush, and I'm going to smudge that over the liner in the outer corner. I'm also going to take a more detailed liner, or a flat shader brush, and I'm going to deepen up what we have in the upper crease area here. I want to make Bada Bing a little smokier. So I'm going to be adding a bit more of it. And then I'm going to go back with my blending brush. This is the MAC 217. Just very lightly flick it so that it just has a fade. Already this looks so much more dramatic. And then next I'm going to take another little angled brush like this, pick up a little bit of roulette, and apply that over the smudged liner on the inner port. Then I'm going to take that Q-tip from earlier and blend that over roulette. Clean up any overzealous little bits of it that's gotten a little too dark. But you do want it to really cover the under eye area. I find this is also a great way to hide under eye bags that just won't go away really close to the lash line. Just cover it up with some dark shadow. I mean, works every time. You'll notice a lot of celebrities, they'll have their eyeliner actually going down pretty darn far sometimes. They have a smoky look, and I think their makeup artists are getting tricky and trying to hide any under eye baggage that's happening from all the parties that happen around award shows and stuff. Just a little bit more of roulette, a little more Bada Bing. And then for mascara today, I'm going to be using the Clinique High Impact Curling Mascara, and I love the way that this one works with bottom lashes. It just has the perfect curve to get on there. Has a lot of, volume to it. It's really great when you do a smokier look like this on the bottom lash line to have nice thick bottom lashes. I'll even do them a little thicker than I normally would. I will, however, go in and pinch off the mascara from a couple of the really long eyelashes that I have, because then they kind of seem like out of sync with the rest. Then what I'll do is I'll take my Q-tip and I'll smear out any of the mascara that maybe, you know, got blurbed on. Just make it part of the look. Then I'm going to go ahead and curl my top lashes with my Tweezerman lash curler. We'll squeeze at the root, squeeze halfway through, and a squeeze at the ends. And then we use the same mascara on the top. This again is the Clinique High Impact Curling Mascara. Get it in really good at the root at first and then flick it through at the ends. I don't know how I did this, but I just did my whole mascara without having to go. It's like, pay attention to what I did when I rewatch this video when I'm editing it, because that was kind of a miracle. And then in the inner corner, I'm going to take a little bit of Mirage and just boop, 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 about that right there to make it kind of, you know, brighter in the inner corner, and also to get a little bit more mileage out of that eyeshadow. So for blush today, I'm going to be using a blush from Charlotte Tilbury. This is her Cheek to Chic Swish and Pop blusher in First Love. So I'm going to apply that right here. So first I go, and then I go, see a really great little blend. This goes really well with this eye look, and I really like the look of this blush. It's so beautiful. Another great, like, naturally peach kind of color to add to my ever-growing collection of naturally peach blushes. Okay, so I just had like a whole situation where I originally was wearing this Smashbox lippy, and I took a bunch of photos with it, and then I really hated it. It looked fine, but it just felt like really gritty and gross, and since I need to film another video after this, I don't want to keep wearing a lippy I don't like. So, in a nutshell, a review of the Smashbox lip lacquer, what are they called again? The print on this is the legendary long wear lip lacquer. I'm not a fan. So instead we're going to take a completely different course, and we're going to use a red lipstick. This is, oh, and obviously I went ahead and put my hair up and put on some like Vegas inspired jewelry. This is the Urban Decay lipstick. This is the Mrs. Mia Wallace one, the one from the Pulp Fiction collection. So good excuse to bust it out, and this kind of look always looks good with a red lip. Then to line that out, I'm going to use something. Max Brick lip liner. This is the final look. I want to just say sorry for all the lighting changes and the outfit changes and the hair changes and the angle changes. And it's just one of those days. It was just a, you know, it's a little difficult to get this one done, but it really shouldn't have been hard. It's a pretty simple look, but you know, there's just days like that. So with that said, the Vegas palette from Makeup Geek is fantastic. The palette is great. I do have a review of this palette, which I will link in the description box down below for you. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Do you see why I'm having the difficulty? Anyway, I will see you guys in my next video. Remember to just be yourself. See you, bye.